Man, it has been a minute since I've done a recommendation video. Hey there, creepy peeps. My name is Nightmare Maven and welcome to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, today is going to be some horror movie recommendations. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. So happy you found my channel. Hopefully you stick around for a while. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. Very happy to see you again. Back when the pandemic started, I had done a recommendations video for like every single streaming service. It was like 2 years ago now, and I feel like there's enough new creepy peeps that you probably won't recognize if I accidentally have any repeat recommendations in here. Could I have gone back and rewatched those recommendations videos to make sure there were no duplicates? Yeah. Was I too lazy to do that? 100%. It also should be noted before I start that these movies are currently streaming in the United States. So if you're in another country, these may not be streaming for you at all. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. Or they may be streaming in your country, just possibly on a different service. First up is Netflix. I know the people of the internet are not exactly happy with Netflix right now, but if you still have a subscription to the platform, here are some recommendations. The Rental is the first one I want to talk about. It is perfect for fans of slow burn creep fests. The film follows two couples that rent a place for a weekend getaway but start to suspect there is something sinister going on. I don't want to say too much without giving anything away. This movie is basically any fear you might have about renting an Airbnb in an isolated location. The tension is built well between the creepy Airbnb vibes and the relationships between the characters, which just gets more and more tense as the film goes on. This is also the directorial debut of Dave Franco, which I've seen a couple movies with him in and I've enjoyed them. So it's kind of cool and it's a solid directorial debut. Also on Netflix is One Bedroom. I guess that's the correct way to say the title. It's written out as 1BR, which is another slow burn. I promise not every single recommendation on this video is going to be a slow burn. One Bedroom follows a young woman who moves into an apartment complex that seems idyllic until she starts to uncover the dark underbelly of the complex's community. And honestly, it's really hard to say anything about this movie without giving anything away. You can tell early on that something is off about the tenants in the apartment complex, but the reveal of what's going on is kind of meant to be a surprise twist. I don't want to say too much just in case. When the twist is revealed, things get pretty dark and there's some heavy subject matter. So definitely check your trigger warnings for this one and for any of these, really, if there's something you're worried about. Okay, moving on to Tubi. Tubi has the craziest selection of horror movies. There's a lot of ones on there that look really bad, but there are some hidden gems in there. I'm gonna recommend possibly a double feature movie night with Grave Encounters 1 and 2. I don't know what it is about these movies, but I low-key kind of love them. There are many parts in both of these movies that are quite cringe, but that's what I love about them. Both movies center around an abandoned asylum that is super haunted. In the first movie, a film crew spend the night for their Haunted Places show, which is called Grave Encounters, and they become trapped. The second follows a film student that is filming a documentary about the Grave Encounters crew and the asylum. The asylum itself within the movie gives big rose red vibes. Walls move and change, time is manipulated, etc., etc. So the characters are being driven crazy while being hunted by the entities in the building. CGI is pretty cheesy and the found footage aspect kind of holds up, but the characters in both movies come from a film background because it's a little easier to suspend disbelief in that sense. Then on Hulu, we have Thelma. So if you've been keeping up with my monthly wrap up, like letterboxed live streams, you probably maybe possibly remember me talking about Thelma. I think it was in last month's stream. This movie follows Thelma, who is away from her very conservative family at university when she discovers she has supernatural abilities. So this is a Norwegian horror thriller moment that is sapphic. We love to see it. This movie I could sum up as what I wanted the last thing Mary saw to be. Sapphics with superpowers that get a happy ending. And I know that's technically a spoiler. I think it's a spoiler that's worth sharing given that so many sapphic movies just in general always end with one or both members of the couple being not alive. I instantly loved Thelma as a character, and she's pretty naive, and that definitely made her endearing to me, and I was just rooting for her the entire time. And this is just a great thriller with a really satisfying ending. Highly, highly recommend this one. I believe this is also on Tubi as well, so if you want to watch it for free and don't care about ads, you can watch it on Tubi. But also on Hulu is The Clove Hitch Killer, which, sorry, is a bit of a slow burn. I just like slow burn horror, okay? The Clove Hitch Killer follows a young boy who finds a stash of disturbing pictures in his father's work shed. The pictures Tyler finds may link his father to a series of murders that took place in his small town nearly a decade ago. This is a side of the story I feel like we rarely see in true crime, or at least the true crime books and shows and movies that are the most popular, and that is the side of the family. There's a tendency, I think, for people to be like, well, how could they not know? And this movie addresses that very well. Tyler's dad is an upstanding and well-liked member of the community, and obviously no one wants to believe their parents could be a serial killer, but that's where like the tension of the movie comes in also. Is what Tyler finds in his dad's shed evidence that he is the killer, or could it possibly just be that he knows who the killer is? It's a super, super tense thriller that kept me guessing all the way through the movie, like how it was gonna end. If you're a fan of true crime, I highly recommend this one. Now on to Kanopy. I know not everybody has Kanopy where they are, but if you do, it is a really great free service. I am not sponsored. I just think it's awesome. Completely free to sign up and use. You just need a library card. That's all. So on Kanopy, among the many great movies you can watch on there, I highly recommend Ghost Team. It is definitely not a slow burn. It falls firmly into the horror comedy category. The movie follows a paranormal obsessed man who recruits a group of misfits to become, well, a ghost team. The team take on their first mission and things go hilariously awry. This is a spoof on those, you know, ghost hunting TV shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. It's goofy, it's silly, it's a little bit self-aware, and kind of just perfect for like a chilled out, casual movie night. There are some fun cameos in the movie from some of these TV ghost hunting shows, which I love. And Justin Long is an absolute scene stealer in this movie. So if you like Scooby-Doo gang-esque type movies, like horror comedies, this is the one for you. And if you don't have access to Kanopy, I believe this one is also on Tubi, so you can still watch it for free. And finally, on HBO Max, I have a movie recommendation and a show recommendation for you. First, the movie, which is Cronos. I feel like among Guillermo del Toro's movies, I hardly ever see anybody talking about Cronos. I mean, according to Letterboxd, it's definitely not in the top like 5 of his most popular movies. The film follows an antiques dealer who comes across a strange device that grants him eternal life, but at a cost, obviously. The cost being blood, like we're all familiar with this type of story. But Cronos takes the typical vampire narrative and puts a really unique twist on it. I love the use of a device to facilitate the change and an older protagonist as the main character. I know vampires are supposed to be like young and sleek and sexy and whatever, but I feel like a story about somebody who is a little bit older and maybe not quite ready to give up on life and wants to relive their youth, a compelling story in its own right, and I feel like it goes along with the vampire narrative really well. And then finally, if you're looking for a fun and quick show to binge, so you really have no excuse, because I think episodes are like 30 minutes long and there's only 6 or 7 episodes, so Los Spookies. I'm telling you, it is so good. You only have 1 season to get through, so it's super duper easy, and it was announced February of this year that filming for season 2 has wrapped, so hopefully we'll be getting a season 2 soon, hopefully. The show follows a group of friends who love all things horror, and they decide to make a business out of it. So they're like helping people in their community in various different ways and scenarios using their knowledge of horror movies, their like acting skills, their SFX skills. The show is hilarious, but kind of in a like quirky way, and I don't just mean like cute quirky, I mean like actual quirky. It's a bit bizarre, but that's what I love about it, and the characters are so likable, and I know they're gonna be super duper relatable to each and every one of you as horror fans, so I feel like everybody needs to watch this show. So there you have it. Those are just some quick horror movie recommendations around the internet. If you have any recommendations that are streaming currently that you know of, let us know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, become a creepy peep today. I post 2 new videos every week with live streams, collabs, all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'll see you very soon with something. Until then, stay strange. Bye.